Hey y'all, if you're new here, I'm Shayna. I'm reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 9. My neighbor was cutting their grass, so if you hear some noise in the back, ignore it. I'm going to try to talk over top of it. But before I get into it, definitely do me a favor and hit the subscribe. If you like the video, hit the like. Check out my other content. It helps out a new small baby YouTuber such as myself, and it don't cost you a dime. So definitely motivates me to keep going. I appreciate anybody who subscribed already, but definitely share, tell a friend, and let's get this channel to grow. Let's grow together. I'm gonna go couple by couple. I only do that with MAFS because Married at First Sight is just so much information. So let's get into Mitch and Kristen. I think this was a Mitch and Kristen heavy episode. So we see them and, Mitch is cooking dinner and they discuss their careers. He's talking about he got promoted and he asks Kristen what her future goals are, not even just career-wise, just in general. And she starts talking about baby talk and wanting future children, and he's ignoring her. He's clicking pots and pans and pulling out seasoning and talking about the vinaigrette tastes so And, just blatantly just ignoring her because he doesn't like her. I don't care what Kristen thought happened. She thought that, the cat coupon did something. Baby, maybe for an episode or two, but bottom line, he really ain't feeling her like that. Ain't nothing really changed as far as I'm concerned. I think he's trying, but I don't think he really likes her like that, and that's why he don't want to talk about no babies. But she mentions that she wants to get out of corporate America. I feel you, as do I. That's why y'all need to like and subscribe. And she wants to flip homes in the future. She said once I have 1 or 2 babies, I want to focus on flipping homes, and she said it like, it will help families. Girl, it's just gonna help put money in your pocket, but okay. And he's feeling away. He's an environmentalist, and he was talking about the poverty and families who could afford the home can't because people come in and they do these flips, and he's just not feeling it. So later on, they're talking about, because they got a knock on the door, there's a task. All the couples have to talk about love and if they've been in love and if they see themselves falling in love and things centered around love. And so he talks about his parents' divorce, which affected him. He didn't really see like a stable home, as far as marriage and things of that nature, but he thinks they have the potential to fall in love with each other, and she agrees. She did say that she kind of felt away when he was, just pretty much ignoring what she was saying earlier in the kitchen. So we move on, and Kristen and Mitch have a karaoke night. Mitch starts freestyling on the mic, and she's like, oh, he's on beat. I know they put music, over top of like the music that was actually playing, maybe for copyright purposes or whatever. I'm curious to know what beat that was. It didn't sound bad. But karaoke night is where his freestyles shall remain. So Kristen is surprised that he's fun. Like, she really was in shock. And isn't that what it's all about? I was with someone and after a while, we never had fun. And then it felt like roommates. And then it just became like I was resentful. If you're not having fun, going on dates, like really spending time together, especially this early on with a stranger, y'all are trying to get to know each other. Please, they have to do this before y'all have children. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts. And even after you have the children and years pass, you still have to do it. Otherwise, you're just two people cohabitating, that keeps the relationship strong and healthy, in my opinion. Mitch explains his concerns about the flipping homes and, why he feels so strongly about it. He doesn't think it's right. He uses some strong verbiage and language that just really upsets her. And, she says and I'm sorry, I've noticed I say a lot. Ignore it. But she states that she's open with his environmentalism, but he's not open to the things she likes. She likes nice things. She wants to do different things, and he's not being open to who she is. She just came in and was expected to immediately change, while he won't change a thing. And that's what her friend told her that she was afraid of, what was it, last week? Yeah. So, and it's obvious. Kristen said that's how she is. She's adaptable and she's always changing. But stop it. These men ain't changing for you, so stop it. But I'm glad she stood firm in it. And, you know, he said she was like, she made a comment and he said, she was like, you know, I'm open to the environmentalism. And he says, it feels inauthentic. And she was like, are you gaslighting me? The short answer is yes. Yes, he is. Like, I see his stance and the things he's doing for the community and the environment and all that. And I definitely agree with some of the things he's saying. But he definitely, in my opinion, is trying to do just what she's, you know, thinking he's trying to do, which is gaslight. I think it's a yes. Let me know what y'all think. So later on, Chris takes Mitch to the beach and they pick up trash, which he loves. It brought him so much joy and happiness. But will he do anything to make her happy? I haven't seen it yet, and we're 9 episodes in. I know half of these episodes were the weddings, but still. She said, you know, I'm an amazing person, and you need to appreciate me. I don't want somebody who's ungrateful. You need to appreciate all that I bring to the table. He's like, yeah, I appreciate you. No, I'm not convinced. And what I really feel is you cannot like make somebody appreciate you. You can't tell them, you better appreciate me. I'm so great. I think Jasmine W said this on her Married at First Sight Live. If the man doesn't, or a person in general, just does not see your worth, no amount of nothing you will do, nothing you will say, you telling them I'm great and amazing is not going to make them see it. It's not going to change their mind. If they don't see it, leave it. Leave them alone. Because there's somebody who will. But how can they meet you when you're wasting time with somebody like Mitch? So towards the end of the episode, all the couples are meeting up. They're going to have a group session with one of the new therapists that they have. I think she's a sexpert, or she seems to have taken Dr. Viviana's place. That's what it looks like to me. But I didn't catch her name. So we'll meet more of her later, I'm sure. The wives, before they did that, the wives all got their husbands these striped matching shirts. All the wives gives their husband a shirt, says, "Ooh, you should wear that today." No argument, no big deal. All the husbands oblige, except for Mitch. Mitch has a Mitch fit. We've seen his Mitch fit before. The very first time we saw him on the wedding day. Well, that was the first time I did. All that pre-wedding, I didn't care about that. But Mitch, when it came down to the wedding, he had a Mitch fit, and he's Mitch fitting again. She has to like pull him into the bathroom with her mic on. So I don't know why she pulled him into the bathroom. Like almost plead with him to please put on the shirt. It's a joke, you know, all the wives were doing, and you're going to ruin the joke if you don't wear the shirt. And why can't you just wear the shirt? Like, it's just a t-shirt. She's not asking you to change who you are as a person. It didn't have anything on it. It's just a striped button-up like polo shirt. It's not a big deal. Just wear it for the day because your wife just got you something. Just to do something nice to make her happy. Like, anything that will make her happy, he don't want to do it. He's like, oh, you're trying to change who I am, and it's not fair. What is all this? It shouldn't even be all this. Even 3 weeks in, they only 3 weeks in, it still shouldn't be all this. That's how I know he don't like her, because if her mama said, can you put on the shirt, I think he would put the shirt on. So after she like begs him to do it, he does it, but then he brings a little knapsack so he can change the shirt because he just has to prove a point. He can't just let it be. So he changes and puts on a wrinkled black long sleeve shirt. And Alexis, everybody's like, why'd you change your shirt? Like, what was the big deal? Even the husbands were like, why'd you change? And he was like, oh, you know, I wasn't feeling the shirt. And Alexis was like, so that's the better option? I'm saying, like, you ain't to put an iron to it or nothing. So Mitch gives a long-winded excuse as to why he just can't wear the shirt, because whatever. And then Kristen was just like, you know, don't say it's not a big deal. Like, it is, because I had to ruin the joke and tell you just so you can put the shirt on for 5 minutes and change. Like, it was never that serious. I think Kristen's doing too much bending, and she's going to bend herself in half. She's going to spread herself too thin. She's doing too much too soon. She's buying them gifts. She's giving them coupons. She's being thoughtful, creative, and coming up with ideas. I haven't seen him plan a date yet, but She gonna learn. And she says yes on decision day, which I think she will, because she's so eager to just be married. She's in love with the idea of being married instead of looking at who she's married to. She's gonna have a long road ahead. I don't think they'll make it, like, but they might maybe make it to the reunion, but not much farther after that. And that's my guess. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm guessing. In the last few seasons, usually before, back in the day, I've been watching MAFS since season 1, episode 1. The very first season when it was out, I was watching it while it was out. I didn't binge watch. I watched it from the start. Every season we had at least a couple make it. Until these last couple seasons, that's when we started having like no couples at all making it. We'd be lucky to have one. That's crazy. So the therapist comes and, you know, Kristen brings up the shirt because it's obviously bothering her. Because why? Like, just be a good sport. He said he loves when somebody has fun and is loose and stuff, but only on his terms. So Mitch was like, he's not going to bend. He's not a pushover. And everybody was looking at Kristen like, So she said she feels like she's losing herself trying to please him. That you are, Kristen. That you are. So next I have Alexis and Justin. I'm about tired of them. I am tired of them all. Can we skip to when they go on a group road trip? Like, I just want to skip right on there. Like, let's just get there. It wasn't too dog heavy because I don't want to hear about it. And I love dogs, but I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing about it. So they're at their shared apartment and they're smoking hookah and drinking some wine, you know, relaxing, unwinding for the night. They talk about the love stuff. And Justin says, you know, this is like, have you been in love before? He said he thought he was in love with his ex. That's who he lost his virginity to at 20 years old, but he realized that he wasn't in love with her. Here goes Alexis. Ooh, late bloomer, but tell me more. I don't want to tell you nothing now. Girl, shh. Always saying the first thing that come to mind. But she said it kind of in a joking way, so they moved on. She asked Justin, like, do you think it's possible to fall out of love? He does think it's possible to fall out of love. She kind of disagrees. She says, you know, if I'm really in it and I'm really like in love with you, it's hard for me to walk away. But I want to hear more about, because it doesn't, she said she's a runner. She's a track star later on. So when have you really been in love where you just can't leave? Because that's your claim to fame. You just leave. You left those 3 fake fiancés that you had. Because high school and all that, girl. So it don't seem like you've stuck around. So when were you really in love so deep that you just couldn't get out? Justin asked her if she can tell him how much she loves him. And she said, no, she's uncomfortable because you don't love him and you know it. And just say, I said it in the heat of the moment. You know, I have love for you, but I'm not in love with you. Like, just keep reiterating, because we all, most of us, I can't say we all, there's some people holding out hope, but we knew from the start, most of us, that this was not gonna work. Like, I feel like she tried. It was fun when you're on the honeymoon, you're basically on vacation. Yeah, it's fun to try. Real life came, and what happened, we knew was gonna happen. Where's the hard part? This is the hard part. You don't like them. I can tell every time I watch one of them after shows that I don't think they made it, allegedly. So they have a picnic on the beach. It looks like it's freezing cold, which, man, I always wanted to go to California so I could just be, you know, wearing my shorts all year round, but it's a little brisk out there from time to time. So Alexis asked him how he saw himself, like, in a marriage, even prior to this situation, just when he was getting married before. How did he see himself as a husband? He said he just saw himself being a great husband. And she's like, that's it? And he's like, you know, being compassionate, understanding, listening. And she's just like, ugh, like, okay, if that's all. And I'm just like, this girl is looking for any reason to say no on decision day. Like, she is like making mental notes, and she's probably gonna jot them down later on when she gets back home to say why she does not want to be with him. She said that they were just dating. Would he continue dating her, you know, with their issues? And he said he would. He asked her the same question. She said no, you know, with the dog situation, she would leave. She kind of was like bragging about being a runner, and honey, that ain't cute, especially you almost 30. Grow up. You want to be married, but you don't really want to be married. Like, because then you can't run at the first sign of trouble. Now, this situation was serious, and he is a stranger. But y'all get to know each other. You got to work with him. So, they get to the group session with the therapist. I forgot what she asked, but Justin basically says that when he's hurt, he protects himself. He has like a shield that goes up. The therapist asks Alexis if she believes him because Justin made a statement that he doesn't bring past trauma into new relationships and isn't afraid of being hurt. He was doing a lot of like contradictions when he was talking. But it seemed like a deflection because he gets hurt and brings up past trauma. That's what it seems like. And that's what the therapist picked up on. Alexis said no, she doesn't believe him. And he's like, well, she don't know me well. And she's like, oh, now I don't know you. No, y'all don't know each other. It's been 3 weeks. No. But, Justin starts getting defensive, and Alexis says she needs to understand him. Help me, help you, help us. He can do all the communication and all that in the world. She don't want that man. Point blank in the story, she don't want him. Next, Ben and Morgan. Oh, Morgan. I thought Ben was going to be the one who was like not really trying, but Morgan. She didn't do much, but she didn't do enough either. So they go on a mermaid swim class to focus on intimacy. Inserts question marks. Because what? What the hell is this? And what does this have to do? What does swinging around in a circle in a pool in a mermaid costume have to do with intimacy? Like, she's doing everything in her power just to avoid it, if you ask me. I think Ben is looking, he was looking really, he's physically fit. If he wasn't so cheap, rumor has it that Ben likes, he likes chocolate women. So, hey, Ben. So Ben said he's never been in love before. What is up with all these grown people never being in love before? It's crazy. Morgan says she has. And then she romanticized her past relationship with her most recent ex. She poured it on thick as hell. She put 20 on 10. Like, she just went on. And he said he would fight the whole world for me. And Ben's like, oh, that's love. What? That's my middle school boyfriend tell me, like, so what? That's not love. She said it was right person, wrong time. Someone please, like, make that make sense for me, because I feel like if it's the right person, you gonna make it the right time. Like, I don't know. But he said he did have an ex from college, and he had life events that happened, and basically she was the one that got away. But was she? Because you said you didn't love anyone, so it seemed like you weren't in love with her either. He opens up about his childhood and his parents having these high expectations of him. He's an engineer, so, I don't think he did too bad. And he personal trains on the side. If you ask me, I think he's doing pretty well. And he, saved his money. He's about his coins, so I feel like they should be very proud of you, Ben. He takes accountability. He said he was projecting his hurt onto her, and she was like, okay, thank you, and continued to shift blame on him. Morgan, are you going to take any accountability for the part you played? Ben wasn't wrong alone in this. It wasn't just Ben. And every time I want to leave out the fact that she lied, I can't. Because she has yet to take accountability for just being a liar. It was an unnecessary little white lie that just keeps going and going and going. So later, Ben cooks Korean barbecue. After work, he set it up really nice. Looks like they were at a fancy restaurant. And I wrote down, I don't see any chemistry between them at all. He made sure to do it when she came home from work with her scrubs on to let us know that she is a nurse. Okay. She says she wants him to be more romantic when they met up with the therapist. She's like, you don't compliment me. He was like, I told you you look icy today. And she's like, yeah, but I'm not your bro. Like, I'm not your homie. You're not? You want him to be more romantic, but are you doing anything romantic? He's never been in love before, but you have. Maybe you can lead the way. Now, I know, every woman don't want to be a leader or whatever like that. But maybe you can help him show him how it is to be romantic. Maybe he just hasn't done it before. You want him to compliment you and say, oh, you look so beautiful. Do you compliment him? Do you tell him nice things? I mean, but it is giving friendship. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's giving friend zone. So that night, it gets interesting because Ben's, talking about, I guess, their schedule for the week. And, they go to the gym together. And Morgan was like, Alexis told me everything. And walks out and closes the front door. And he's like, wait, Morgan, what? Like, what? Morgan, what are you talking about? Morgan! And she said in her confessional that, he was telling lies on her. Was it the same lie that we already talked about? Because we already knew about the nurse lie, which wasn't necessarily him lying on you. He just exposed your lie. Or was it something else? So that was a cliffhanger. We'll find out hopefully next week. And they seem doomed. I mean, I guess there's always a chance for hope, but I'm trying to have hope for somebody. There used to be a couple that you could root for, but not this time. Not this time. Stasha and Nate. I liked Stasha, and I was hoping that maybe they could be the one. I thought it would be Nate. But this episode, Nate was unproblematic to me, and she says he can't communicate. I think he can communicate effectively and express his emotions in a mature manner. Honey, I dealt with some men who cannot communicate, just cannot talk, don't know how to put your words together, just having tantrums because you don't know how to communicate without exploding. So he does a good job with that, if you ask me. She asked Nate where her feelings are for her when they were in a hot tub. He gave her a 4 out of 10. I can understand, it's a little low, kind of hurt your feelings. But she said, in love. Maybe she would have said, do you, as far as you liking me, us liking each other, maybe it would have been a little higher. But love feelings, sometimes people fall in love right away, but give him time. He's another one that said he's never been in love before. Give it time. Give it a chance. She said she's an 8 out of 10. And she was visibly disappointed. You can hear her voice, see it on her face. She couldn't shake it. He said he hasn't been in love as an adult. I think it's only been 3 weeks. Relax. I mean, she's the oldest one out of the bunch. Now, she looks good, and she looks like she's one of the youngest, if you ask me, out of the women. But, you're supposed to carry yourself with she's this boss lady, mature, young woman. Stop being so pressed. Come on now, give it time. Because if he was telling me he loved me that fast, I'd be concerned. And I'm not going to lie. They say it's signs of narcissism, early love bombing. So he's not doing that. So it's not a red flag. It's actually a good thing. Stasha asked later on in the night the same question again. She worded it slightly differently, but basically the same question about him falling in love with her. He's like, I want to get to know you. It's giving very much Steve and Noi. It's thirsty. And Steve was another one who could communicate effectively, but he caved in, told Noi how much he loved her a little too soon, if you ask me, and we know the outcome of the marriage. I don't want that for Stasha, so fall back a little bit. Let him come around. It's going to feel so much better if he just comes around instead of you pushing him to do it. So they go to a cooking class, which was a cute little date. That's a cute date idea, especially since she was burning rice because she couldn't get the fact that he doesn't love her out of her mind. She brings up the little debate from the other night. I wouldn't call it an argument, neither did he. And he checks her because basically she's dragging us on. So she brings up his past relationship, says he was with someone for 2 years and wasn't in love. And he's like, I had love for her, but I wasn't in love with her because she always gave me ultimatums and I always had to chase her and be like, oh, please, don't leave and all of this stuff. That seems like Sasha's starting to do the same things already. And it basically pushed him away. But he's like, you don't got to worry about that because I really, and the dramatic music and she's looking, I really like you and I think you're beautiful. And I'm like, I really like you. Boy, you could have saved that. You trying to be smart with that one. Because why you even say, really? So we get to the therapy session, the group therapy session. Sasha tells the therapist that Nate isn't being vulnerable, and she is, and it hurts her. And he's frustrated because he says he shows her with actions, like the therapy, for instance. He says if she keeps pushing him, he's going to give up. And later on, they're talking on the couch back at the shared apartment. And I'm just thinking, she doesn't even love him. Like, she's not in love with him. She just wants to hear him say it. And I was thinking, okay, she does have a bit of a daddy issue. Could that be it? And I understand that affects you the rest of your life. But can we hold that every time, like, we have a issue in our relationships? Can we always, like, lean on it like a crutch? I mean, he has issues with his mom as well, but he's letting her know how he feels, and he's not counting it out. He's saying, give it some time. He said her comments hurt him earlier, and he mentioned that she said she didn't believe in words. She needs to see action, so he tried to show her with actions, and she still doesn't believe him. And, you know, that's the main thing he told her he needed from his wife was someone who believed in him. He said he's tired of proving himself. And she's just not patient enough for him. And that's what this is. You need to be patient. I know you got married fast. You want it fast. You know, most people want to be married on their wedding day. When they're married, they want to be in love with each other. But this is a completely different situation. You're still trying to get to know each other. You got a camera in your face. There's a lot going on. So he says, he's like, well, you wanted emotions. You got emotions. Are you happy? And she said no. And no, of course she's not, because it's not the emotions that she wanted. She wanted him to be like, yes, I'm in love with you. I know he said that he was falling in love with her on the honeymoon because he wanted to move into that house. And then he found out how much she made and cha-ching. And they need to stop with this. Yeah, because she mentioned, like, with the therapy and you moving in, that's actions. But I need to see more before we get a shared account and stuff. Him moving into your brand new house is not an action in my eyes. How is him, like, having a brand new home to move into that he didn't have to put a dime down for and put no work into actions? He can give up his apartment. But, you know, they're not doing too good right now because Sasha is making a problem when there isn't one. And he was like, you know what? At this point, it's a you problem. It's a you problem. And he gets up and walks off. So we'll see what happens next week with them. Finally, we have Lindy and Miguel. There wasn't much with them this time. Miguel meets with his friend Steve again, and Steve is concerned that Miguel's ignoring all the red flags. He's just like, look, we had the conversation with her. Everything was fine until she brought up the insurance thing, and she, like, went 0 to 100. He found it odd. I think it's a little odd, too, because why didn't she already have insurance? You can get your own health insurance. There's plenty of entrepreneurs and people whose jobs do not provide insurance, and they still find a way. Get some Obamacare, figure it out. Like, I don't understand. So, and then she's like, you know, are you paying attention? She's still doing a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing. And he's like, I don't know, no. And so he's concerned that Miguel's not really paying attention. Now, Miguel has said early on that this is an issue for him, but he also doesn't. It seems like once he realizes that this is a problem, he leaves. So he might let it be a problem for a while, but he don't stick around for long. So they get back to their apartment. He comes home from work, even though she's been home all day. And then he's always cooking. So he's cooking, he's working, and she's just there, you know, with her split personalities. I'm joking, but they joke about Miguel being afraid of her cat. I'm not a big cat person either. I had cats when I was younger. My parents would have them, but I prefer a dog. Nothing against cats. My mom has a cute kitten now, but they can be a little scary. I don't know. So they discussed the relationships, ups and downs, and, you know, highs and lows. And she said she's human, she's not perfect, and she would hope that if she showed her crazy side that he would extend grace. And she said something about grace 100 times. He wants boundaries. Yes, I can have grace, but how much? Like, where does it end? Like, it's not just infinite, unlimited, where you can just keep doing what you want to do and just abusing it at this point, and I'm just going to keep extending grace. She said she doesn't want a marriage where they keep scores. If you're going to forgive, you have to forgive and move on. So at the therapy session with the group, she said she told her friends she wanted Miguel to see her crazy side, but she's been holding back out of fear. She doesn't know what he's going to do. Miguel, if you weren't paying attention before, pay attention now. Because if you thought that was a lot before, I didn't think it was too much last week. But what else? Like, now I want to see her crazy side to see, like, just how crazy is it going to get. And if she does get any crazier, he may say no on decision day. I think they'll say yes. From what I'm seeing right now, he seems pretty flexible. He may give her a hard time at first, but then he seems to come around. But if she keeps on and keeps on just to see how far she can, poke the bear and test him and push him to see how much he'll take, he may very well say no on decision day. At least that's what I think. That's my opinion. But let me know y'all opinion down in the comments. Let's talk about it. What are we thinking of the couple so far? Do we see any potential prospects? Do we think anyone will make it? Are you guys checking out the after show? Let me know. Let's get down in the comments and talk about it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.